I said Nello talking trash from a cell. He don't want it with me. He in PC. Dmitry Bivol lashes out at Canelo. He stands 10 toes down, said Canelo don't want the rematch. He's showing you he don't want the rematch. That's what I want to talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Dmitry Bivol has insisted that Canelo's side, they keep using his name and saying and clamoring and saying they want the rematch, but their actions are showing something completely different. So Bivol's basically saying that Canelo is using this as an attempt to publicly put it out there that he wants to fight Bivol, but he don't really want to fight Bivol. So he has kind of a built-in scapegoat to just say Bivol didn't want it. That's why we didn't agree. He goes on to say if Canelo is saying he wants the same terms as the first fight, which he was clearly beat in that fight and he was dominated in that fight, then he simply doesn't want the fight. Why would you want the same terms and you had a ton of excuses? Now, I've already explained why Canelo wants the same terms, because if he fights Dmitry Bivol at 175, that's his lesser accomplished division, so he could just keep him and his fan base, the Canelo Chupapi Muñeños, the Cinnabons, they can continue to just say, oh, it was a bridge too far, it was too much weight for Canelo, despite Canelo's team having said that they would fight Usyk and they want fights at cruiserweights with MacBook Air and guys like that. It's a built-in excuse, and that's what I don't like, and that's what boxing doesn't need, a built-in excuse. So you could just say Canelo is too much weight. The other thing, part B of that, is Canelo retains his titles at 168, even if he were to lose at 175. It's no different than Kell Brook. You look at Kell Brook, so basically, realistically, I'm in my fight with Triple G. I'm gonna fight realistically with a chocolate right ham brownie, and I like meetings. When Kell Brook fought Triple G at middleweight, realistically, right? He lost and got stopped, yet he was still undefeated at welterweight. He kept his IBF strap and his IBF mandatory, which was Errol Spence. That's why Errol Spence got a crack at Kell Brook, his first fight back in his true division, which was welterweight. So it would be the same thing. He can say, oh, I dared to be great. I lost to Golovkin at a higher weight, and then retain that belt that he had entering the Golovkin fight and go back down in weight. That's what Canelo wants. And I love what Dmitry Bivol's team said. It sounded like Vadim, his manager, had chimed in, and he basically said Canelo has had 2 fights since the Bivol fight. That shows you that he's not interested in the rematch for real. Boom. This is exactly what I said. I know that I am the greatest in boxing history in the digital space covering this sport. Exactly what I said. Ego Stradamus strikes again. Why would Canelo have a rematch clause pinned into the contract, lose bad, lie and say he thinks he won, even though you barely won any rounds versus Bivol, and claim you want the rematch? If you truly wanted the rematch, you would push the button on the rematch. Y'all wish I was fronting, not George Bush the button. You would George Bush the button if you really wanted Bivol again. You had contractual dibs on a Bivol rematch, but you chose to fight a 41-year-old Gennady Golovkin for a third time, even though you claim that you believe you won the first 2 fights. So if that was your logic and you believe you won the first 2 Golovkin fights, why would you then fight a 41-year-old Golovkin who was showing his age in fights with Murata, showing his age and getting tagged in Steve Rolls fights and lesser fights, had a lot of inactivity, and he was age 41 years old when you fought him? There was no need for the trilogy. You chose to bypass Bivol instead of exercising your immediate rematch. Shows you who Canelo is as a fighter and his character. Because guys like Joe Joyce, yes, he did lose bad to Zille Zhang, and he got stopped in that fight. However, fighters that have the hunger and desire to fight, and that fire still burning in their belly, they do what Joe Joyce is doing, feel like, oh, okay, that wasn't my best night. I can really do better, even though I didn't show it on that given night and I lost and I got stopped, or I just lost. And now you look at the news, in the boxing news, Joe Joyce is fighting the same guy that just beat him. Same thing with Josh Taylor. It wasn't his night the other night versus Teofimo. Teofimo Lopez looked splendid in that particular fight. You heard immediately after the fight what Josh Taylor said. I know I could beat this guy. It wasn't my best night. No excuses. I would definitely love to go again because I'm confident I can, regroup and come with a better game plan and beat him. You look at guys like Beck the Bully. He got knocked out by Gabe Rosado, and just recently he just avenged that and then put Gabe Rosado kind of in retirement. Rosado retired after Beck the Bully avenged that fight. So again, you see, I'm showing you a litany of different fighters who are moving completely different. Joe Joyce, Beck the Bully, Jermell Charlo's another one. Harrison fight. It didn't sit well with him. He signed up for an immediate rematch. Jermell Charlo had a draw with Castano. Didn't sit well with him. He signed up for an immediate rematch. Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. His draw with Tyson Fury in the first fight did not sit well with him. So he pursued the additional second and third fight, and so on and so forth. I could do this on and on and on and on and on. And Canelo's the only guy moving like this. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'm the best in the business, and I'm out.